What can be said about the Blair Witch Project that hasn't already been said? Its legacy is... Its legacy is thanks to an ingenious marketing campaign where the movie was depicted as the actual found footage of missing actors. Even the IMDb page listed the 3 actors as missing/deceased. That's devotion. They even created a fake documentary of the Blair Witch on the Sci-Fi channel. And not sci-fi, but sci-fi. This made a very unique and terrifying experience, which blew up the found footage genre, inspiring countless movies after. Including yours truly.
The fuck is that? No, seriously, come take a look.
With its $60,000 budget, it made almost $250 million, making it one of the most successful independent films ever. But it does beg the question, does it hold up past all the hype? Well, let's see. So here's my first question. Why was the movie released 4 years after it was discovered? And edited? Or even released in theaters at all if it was thought to be real? You think that make people angry, knowing they're watching real deaths. But then again, a lot of people have a sick curiosity. So... the recovered footage is edited down and is all that remains from the 3 film students, Heather, Josh, and Mike. The project's goal was to make a documentary of the Blair Witch legend in the town of Burkittsville, Maryland, formerly known as Blair. They talked to the townspeople, getting stories about the legend.
Have you ever heard of the Blair Witch?
That's an old story. 1940, some of the young kids started to disappear.
It off the face of the earth.
No! Really?
Okay, it's all right, Ingrid. I'm just telling a scary story, but it's not true.
It's not true.
They searched this house and they found the bodies of 7 kids.
The kids down in the basement by 2s, and he made one face into the corner.
Really?
A terrible thing, just tore the whole community up. And they say that the woods are all haunted up there and stuff like that, but...
Yeah, she was babbling something about an old woman whose feet never touched the ground.
Then she opened up her shawl.
And what was under there?
And under it there was hair and a body like a
So she was hairy?
So let's summarize with a checklist description of the witch. She's a hairy woman ghost with a shawl and a strange face. She told a hermit to kill 7 kids. She floats, appears in mist form, tied 5 men together and disemboweled them, and she kills kids in 2, one in a corner, so that she can kill them one at a time.
Ooh, do you believe in ghosts?
Pretty much. Yeah, because that seems like a pretty legitimate way to get killed. I mean, then again, let me check with one of my friends. Yo, Mate, how's it going over there?
It is what it is.
So, why are you standing in a corner anyway?
Some crazy hairy old witch told me to.
And that seemed like a reasonable thing?
Seems legit.
Okay. Who am I to judge? The movie starts off quick, introducing a lot of info and not wasting a lot of time with characters. Yet, their first night in the woods, Josh claims to have heard cackling.
One of them could have possibly been an owl, but the other one was like a cackling.
Day 2 in the woods, they start getting lost.
This is Greek to me.
We do get some mundane random scenes, taking a piss, and uneven hairy chests. Groovy. Which this film has been made fun of for pointing the camera at a lot of unimportant things like leaves and rocks.
No, you want to stay here, you want to film rocks, you want...
Not untrue, but that's part of the found footage genre to come off more realistic. And to be fair, the movie still keeps pretty focused. Like when they discover some conspicuous rock piles.
Remember something that Mary Brown said the other day? What was the story from the Bible that she was telling us?
The Bible? Didn't she mention the Bible before?
The film business. She also says she's a ballerina. She says she's a historian writing a book on American history, and that she's a scientist. Your life.
It's like an Indian burial ground, man.
That works.
Can't be too careful.
The second night, they hear loud noises outside their tent.
But you ever see Deliverance?
Is that the influence?
Redneck, no redneck is this creative.
Oh, yeah, it's an influence.
I've been since we're like pig.
On day 3, they start heading back, and Heather insists that they take a shortcut. But it gets them lost. And that night, there's more noises.
It sounds like footsteps.
I know.
Day 4, they wake to piles of rocks surrounding their tent. Awkward. As creepy as that is, the map is now missing.
Did you take it?
They follow the creek until Mike starts laughing.
I kicked that fucking map into the creek yesterday. It was useless.
Fucking asshole!
The map was useless.
You can stick your head in
Get
that
this fucking camera off. Can I hold the fucking compass
No.
now? Can I hold the fucking compass?
No.
Bought the compass. You fucked us up. He fucked us up.
That's not unfair. They decide to keep going one direction so that they eventually wind up somewhere, until they run into this iconic sequence.
Fucking crazy shit.
As you can imagine how creeped out our characters must feel, they decide not to light a fire, because only once out of the 3 nights where there was no weirdness going on was when they didn't light the fire. Plus, don't want whatever is following them in the woods to find them. But more noises and even a baby crying. So much nope. Something attacks their tent and they flee and wait till daylight. They return to the tent to find their stuff messed with, and some of it stolen. On Josh's stuff is a mysterious blue slime. Who you gonna call?
He slimed me.
That's great.
Tensions rise both for the situation as well as between our characters.
You like this video camera so much? No, but it's totally like a filtered reality, man. It's like you can pretend everything's not quite the way it is.
That's almost like a social commentary, like the last broadcast. What? A found footage movie before the Blair Witch Project? What? Despite them going in the same direction, they all wind up going in a circle and hitting the same tree.
We walked south all day, okay? We walked.
All they can do is dream of food as they get hungrier and colder. And on day 6, Josh is missing.
Josh!
South didn't work.
Which Wicked Witch was worse, the Wicked Witch of the East or the Wicked Witch of the West?
This movie's trying to do referential humor without me. It's trying to do my job.
What's your favorite thing to do on a Sunday?
It used to be drive to the woods and go hiking.
I think you could scratch that off.
As well as some other activities. Night 6, they hear Josh screaming.
I don't know if it's really him.
Ooh, lost and unable to trust. Now that's unnerving. Mike and Heather wake to a bundle of sticks wrapped with a piece of Josh's shirt, and inside is a tooth, hair, and a tongue? Clearly, this does not sit well with him. A full week has gone by stuck in these woods. Our 2 remaining characters are hungry, cold, tired, and being hunted. Heather gives us the iconic scene of the movie where she confesses her fear and apologizes to everyone in her life for the situation that they're all in. I've heard some people critique the scene for bad acting, but I personally find that it added a lot what the character is going through and represented a person at the end of their ropes instead of your typical crying victim. Later that night, they hear Josh yelling again for help. They pursue and...
Holy shit. It's a house.
In this sequence of hurried action, we see a lot of detail rushing by, like handprints on the wall and the dilapidation of the house. Mike and Heather can't seem to pinpoint Josh's cries, but Mike is stopped short by something in the basement. Heather follows and finds Mike standing facing away in the corner, as described by one of the townspeople earlier. And then, cut. Totally off screen, we are left to assume the outcome. And now to conclude, we're going to move on to those delightful scares. Waking to rocks. It's not the rocks, but the ritualistic setup and the realization that they are being followed. Noises in the woods. Simple ambience in a place where the characters are trapped leads their imaginations and the audience's imaginations wild. Which in horror, an individual's imagination is the most effective tool because everyone's fear is subjective and only you can think of what scares you most. The witch's reputation. Hey, how do you make someone scary? You describe all the gruesome stuff they've done in the past, and then you see our characters probably gonna have the same thing happen to them. Foreshadowing. Ish. Assault on the tent. A jump scare from an unseen force. Unsure of a friend's voice. You can't trust the voice of someone you know, or even your own senses. Then who can you trust? No sense of direction. Against logic and science going in the same direction, they still go in a circle. Why? Maybe the woods are changing. Later mythos expands how the witch does control the placement of the trees, like the asylum in Grave Encounters, so they are trapped without realizing it. The house. Seeing nothing for so long and then to find the source of their fear, filled with hints of history and terror. The corner. Not to say that standing in a corner is scary, but it's the lead up. We recall this as something the witch did to her victims before, so whereas we have doubts about whether she existed before or not, this little detail suddenly makes us think, oh crap, maybe she is real, and the characters are doomed. It's a classic urban legend formula of setup, lead-in, and a terrifying twist and realization. Unexplained details. Like the wooden figures, their symbolism and meaning, the slime, rock piles, and a wrapped-up tooth. Even what the witch looks like, what her motivations are, her origins, until later media. But it does convey history and depth without explaining any of it, and not knowing makes it frightening. Apparently, there is a time and place to explain and not to explain. Fans have fun theorizing what these elements mean, and not knowing hasn't made this movie any less famous. In fact, here's a few theories to throw at you in the last minute. Is it getting colder? There's a mention of it getting cold from night 4 on. You see them bundling up and even stitching pants. Maybe they're getting closer to the witch, which makes their environment colder, like entering her ghostly realm.
Ghosts are believed to cause dramatic drop-offs in air temperature, known in the paranormal community as cold spots.
Slime is the witch marking her victim, like a sign of a curse or a black spot. Disturbing the wooden figure made Josh a target, or disturbing the rock pile potential burial grounds. In other words, disrespect equals death. Josh is controlled the whole time by the witch, attracting the other two characters with his yells and then killing them in the house in the end. Maybe because the witch has no physical form. That's why we don't see her, which, a monster you can't see, would be a terrifying notion. Well, I think that's it for today. Ow. My work is never done. Keep that camera out of my face! Mate is in the corner because he's been a bad little boy. Isn't that right, Mate? Oh my lord.